Personal log, Captain Israel Prax, stardate 54-491.6. The expedition is inbound for Starbase 621. After our multiple engagements with the Tzenkethi, I am told that Gold Jarrell, along with Hellen Vel, will make a full recovery in time. While we've kept the two separated for the time being, given the predicament that we're currently embroiled in, eventually the two will have to come to terms with the current situation. I just hope for a peaceful outcome and an end to this senseless conflict. Admiral Pera will be at 621. Her support in this endeavor has been most appreciated, and I do hope that will continue after our debriefing. As for our Nausicaan friends on board, Lieutenant Casey has his hands full. I do hope he's able to get some useful information out of them before our arrival at 621. Nevertheless, Mr. Casey's actions haven't gone unnoticed in these past few months, and I do tend to make good on that. As well as Dr. Blackfeld has been instrumental in these past few days. I don't think we would have been as successful as we were if it weren't for his out-of-box thinking. But I can say that for everyone on this ship. Their commitment and dedication has proven to be exemplary. As for the task force engaging the Tzenkethi forces in Cardassian space, there has been no word yet on their success. I just hope it was enough to balance the tides in these turbulent times, but I have a feeling things are far from over. In the captain's log.
All right, so I'm going to throw you guys onto the bridge. You're probably a few hours from Starbase 621. I'm not going to have any of the talking with any of the important NPCs until we're actually on the station, but feel free to use this time for any free roleplay you guys would like.
Yeah, I imagine Casey would be in the brig, trying to extract any information he could get.
Mentrock won't be seeing too many repairs or any damage the ship sustained.
Sorry, Nadan is currently reviewing some notes from the past few weeks, just trying to see if anything has been missed, to make sure that that she's up to date on latest events.
All right, so Lieutenant Casey, the brig is obviously very chaotic. You got a bunch of Nausicaans crammed, a few others, so it's very loud. It's very hard to get anything done in there at the just because you're kind of at capacity. Mendrock, the ship is actually held up very well despite the combat in the last few days. So it's basically just routine repairs and routine maintenance that you're having to deal with. Maybe adjusting the lithium flow regulator here and there, but nothing too major.
Oh, good. I read that fleet report and I was concerned. I actually listened to the log.
Yep, your second in command did a superb job.
Excellent.
Blackwell will make his rounds of the patients. Make sure everybody's looking as they should.
Yep, Galdrell is pretty much almost fully healed. The Tzenkethi are no worse for wear. Their natural immune systems and regenerative properties are basically doing your work for you, save for a few passes with a dermal regenerator to help scarring, but some of them prefer to keep the scars. So the Tzenkethi are pretty much, taking care of themselves. The Cardassians you're able to fix up without too much problems. And there's a few injuries on the Nausicaans, especially the one that took the massive phaser hit to the chest that was a little bit harder, but you were able to fix up.
Nice.
What happened to that Borg guy we sort of started liberating.
Oh, David's
Just
still
thought about-
there. He's unborged.
Yep.
Ah,
David is still on the ship, still trying to recall his memories. He's been working with the doctor, trying to help repair any damaged neurons.
And probably
But
get
you know,
back
it's a slow
physical
process.
therapy as well.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very slow process. He's still getting used to not having the implants in certain spots, and you know, just a
Cool.
physical strain on the body. But it is a work in progress. And Nadan, you were looking at
I was looking at the science logs for the past few weeks just to review and make sure I'm up to date, make sure that I haven't missed any notes from subordinates, that sort of thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, with the combat happening, there hasn't been too much reports from the science thing going on, other than trying to keep the sensors at peak capacity. You know, you got a few scans of the Badlands that you guys are able to sort through and stuff like that, but nothing major crossing the science.
Perfect.
But yeah, this is your opportunity to have any free role play amongst yourselves. I could throw you guys anywhere on the ship, you know, the mess hall, engineering, wherever you guys want to do some free role play type.
I will head to whatever we have as a 10-4 and try and relax after I've seen everything over.
The Royal Mast, I believe, is what we call it.
There you are.
Helps if I log into the game. That would be useful.
I always do that. Realize I'm not in Roll20.
Oh, and make sure the people with GM privileges are logged in as players, so you can actually see the scene changes.
Yeah. I remember to do that at the beginning this time.
My Roll20 is not working.
Happens to the best of us.
Right, so yeah, so Mendrock is in the Royal Mast. So if anyone would like to join him for
Have I like gotten anything out of the Nausicaans already?
not yet, because like I said, it's very chaotic. So you haven't really been able to have the opportunity to single one of them out yet for interrogation. Just because you're trying to keep them from like breaking the bulkhead, so to speak.
Yeah, I see. Well, I probably want to stay and oversee that then.
You know, your ship is very crowded with all the people you picked up over the last few days.
Yeah, and with the with the various guests in sick bay, I imagine Chief of Security would have his hands pretty full.
After a couple hours after my rounds of taking Leonard out to the holodeck for fetch and letting him run around, Blackwell and Leonard will come into the royal mast to get Blackwell a cold beer and Leonard a dish of water, which Bob always has for him, as well as some treats.
Oh no, there's no Leonard token.
I thought I uploaded one in the art stuff.
If you did, it wouldn't be on my list of art stuff.
Of course not. Here, I'll put it in the chat again. There's Leonard. There you go. He's the goodest Starfleet officer.
Porthos resents that.
Porthos has been dead for a couple hundred years.
I don't know. Humans live to be like, what, 130? Maybe they like extended dog lifetimes for centuries. Now that would be awesome.
Geriatric 300-year-old dog. Been around since the eugenics wars.
Yep.
And then there's Khan's cat.
But yeah, I'll get Leonard uploaded so you guys
Okay.
can.
Yeah, the doc will sit down with Mindrock and with a nice cold beer.
Hello, Imposter.
Hey, Mindrock, how's the what's the health of the ship like?
She's running fine.
Always
Surprisingly,
reassuring.
after these last few engagements, I've been a little unnerved.
Well,
I spent all my time at Daystrom Academy and on a outpost, so being on a ship is really a new experience for me.
well, Captain Prax hasn't given the Tzenkethi or much of anybody else a chance to scratch the paint.
I'm happy that I don't have to repair the ship very often. That is a blessing for sure. The incident with the Cardassians rescuing them from that compound had me very nervous.
Still, we managed to pull it off without getting into a firefight.
Indeed, it was good teamwork all around.
Well, and I'm happy to report that all of the Cardassians we saved are going to make a full recovery. In fact, everyone except Gul Drell has already done so, and Drell's be there in the next day or two.
Well, that's good to hear.
The Tzenkethi were never really a worry. If you can stop them from bleeding out, their natural regenerative qualities will see them through an astonishing array of injuries. Blah, blah.
I wonder what this Rose and Kitty means. If there's more, it's going to be a repeat of other conflicts.
I was hoping that Hellen Vel might be the key to getting the Tzenkethi to stand down, or at least come to talks. Who knows, maybe she will yet be, but it seems like the autarch moved quickly to strip her of any power or position amongst her people, a little bit too quickly.
Yeah, she a scapegoat.
Somebody's manipulating the Tzenkethi, the Cardassians, and us.
Yes, I agree with you.
I just wish we could figure out who. In the meantime, people are dying.
That is a tragic thing.
And Leonard comes over and just kind of flops down, kind of between us at Blackwell's feet.
I look down at the dog.
Blackwell reaches down and scritches Leonard behind the ears. Leonard, Mendrock, Leonard.
I pet the dog.
Leonard is very friendly.
I didn't realize we had a dog on board.
I am to misbehave.
Speaking of
Is this one
rescuing
yours?
people,
Or just belong to the captain?
we ran across some sort of what would you call it, an interstellar circus who had collected life forms from a variety of places. I'm not even sure they were from the Alpha or Beta Quadrant, but Leonard, unfortunately, was one of them. So, in the course of saving the proprietor from Ferengi takeover, a very hostile takeover, and freeing a Klingon citizen, the captain was good enough to free old Leonard here, who I had met and kind of taken a shine to, because he is a good boy. Yes, you are. You're a very good boy. Talking to the dog there.
Mentor nods his head. I see.
So, well, you're not bullying. Do Benzites have pets?
Not really. Although I suppose we could. I mean, on the outpost I was living on before I went to the academy, there was animals of all kinds. They had some farming. So I've interacted with other beasts and critters, although not up close on a regular basis.
It's a shame. Everyone should have a pet, at least at one time or another. Did you know that many cognitive scientists believe that it's because of these guys, and he nods towards Leonard, that humans were able to develop empathy?
Interesting.
Our relationship with dogs goes back well into uh, the middle hominids, and over the course of their domestication and the partnership that humans formed with canids, the two species had to learn to communicate with each other through, or at least the basics, which mostly happened through body language and emotional expression. And the very act of learning to live with and work with and hunt with dogs theoretically enabled ancient humans uh, um, the ability to at least potentially understand and interact with the other uh, as part of his own world and his own family. So it may be to these
Interesting.
furry guys here, and he scritches them, that
So kind of a symbiotic life together,
in a way,
helping one another. Very nice. That's interesting. I might have to do some reading on that.
now psychology is not my primary field of
Well, I
study.
meant like the history of the dog
Hmm.
in itself.
It's
I
interesting.
do like to read.
And sometimes dogs are better humans than humans are. Most days, I'm pretty sure we don't deserve them. And he finishes his beer. But speaking of, I think Leonard and I are going to head back to our quarters. We should be at Starbase 621 before too long. I need to
Indeed.
freshen up after chasing him around the holodeck.
Yeah, I should probably freshen up myself, having been doing some work in the engineering department all day.
Well, it was nice to talk with you, and I'll see you on the bridge in a little while.
As well. And he gives the dog another pet before we both leave. And then I'll head back to my quarters. You noticed I wasn't actually drinking anything other than like water.
Oh.
Cool. Anyone else want to do any role play? Or do we head off to the starbase? I'll take the silence as move on.
Sounds good.
All right, so you guys drop out of warp at Starbase 621. The Starbase hails you and says that they'll guide you in to dock at the Starbase. You know, they'll take control of your systems to do that. And after a few minutes or whatever, you eventually dock with the Star. And you, Captain Prax receives a communication to meet Admiral Pera in her office. And we'll pick it up on the bridge as it just as you just received the green light that the ship has docked.
Mr. Casey, the con is yours, though I don't think anything will be happening. Make sure to give the crew, at least when they're not on their duty shift, ample time for leave onto the starbase.
course, sir.
Prax will head to meet with the admiral.
I don't think we ever made a token for Admiral Perry. But at any rate, you find the Admiral in her office. She is busy at work, tapping pads, looking on computer. Looking at her computer screen. Every now and then, adjunct will come in and she'll have to sign something and send them on their way. The office is a very busy place. Captain, come in, have a seat.
Thank you, Admiral. She takes a seat.
What is the update of the expedition in the Cardassian sector?
We managed to find and locate Gold Jarrell. He's currently on board the expedition. He was injured due to his Tzenkethi interrogation, at which point in time during a covert operation, we managed to get information, which we've already forwarded to you. At that point, we unfortunately engaged in combat with two Tzenkethi dreadnoughts, which we were able to overcome. At that moment in time, we thought it fitting to locate Hellen Vel AE, but learning that through some cunning plans, as per my report stated, that Hellen Vel E, shortly after we put a message into the Tzenkethi communication system, led to a hunt for her within the Tzenkethi hierarchy. She's reduced to rank 0. Whereabout that we managed to, after some time, locate her within the Badlands, where she was already under assault by Nausicaan and we presume eventually Tzenkethi forces as well. There we encountered one of the Tzenkethi dreadnoughts that we managed to fend off earlier inside the Badlands. Needless to say, came out victoriously in our battle and managed to rescue wanted Tzenkethi fugitives. And I believe that's where we're currently standing at right now. Admiral?
What do you estimate the Tzenkethi strength of their ships at? This is a rare opportunity to study the Tzenkethi weaponry. How would you gauge their capabilities?
They are a force to be reckoned with. Prolonged engagements are not recommended, Admiral. Though we fared out better than most ships, we are the cream of the top when it comes to a starship.
Luckily, I think this conflict might be coming to an end. I've just received word from our task force that they have managed to push the Tzenkethi out of Cardassian space.
That's excellent news, Admiral.
I have ordered all Starfleet vessels to maintain defensive postures inside Cardassian space, and hopefully the Tzenkethi will come to the peace table soon. But they have still not answered our diplomatic corps.
The Tzenkethi seem very, at least the Archtarch, I'm saying that right, seems to be, put in my instructor's words, hell bent on taking or at least out for blood against the Cardassians for an age old problem the two cultures have been dealing with for some time.
Yes, I have read your report. It seems we might be called in to play peacekeeper in this conflict.
Do you really think the Zenkethi will want us to be the middleman in the situation, since we've already shown that we're willing to take sides with the Cardassians?
The Zenkethi know, but I fear our obligation to Cardassia might just be beginning.
Was there any word on who this individual is that was trying to pull our forces out to give room for?
Starfleet intelligence is still seeking the answer to that very question. Unfortunately, they have had no. Whoever sent this message is very skilled in hiding, as we have been unable to triangulate where the comm originated from.
With all due respect, Admiral, it had to be someone in high authority within Starfleet to give an order to evacuate all Federation vessels from Cardassian space. It would seem we have a traitor within our ranks, Admiral.
We must be vigilant. There has been a lot of troubling reports coming from throughout the fleet.
Yes, there has, but for all we know, this could just be some diversion to Admiral.
I am afraid I will have to agree with you in this case, Captain. Something just seems off about this situation. At any rate, Captain, I have received a request for aid from the Cardassian colony of Quanar. They have been hit hard by the Tzenkethi attacks and the following planetary invasion of their planet. The Cardassians have retaken the planet but cannot spare any medical personnel to aid the sick and injured. I have the Herring standing by to facilitate relief efforts and to pick up our wounded from our task force. It is scheduled to return here in 5 days. Captain, what I would like you to do is I would like you to coordinate a relief team to head to this colony.
Understood, Admiral. And what about my prisoners as well as the Zenkethi fugitives?
I am sure you can delegate the relief effort. I am sure you have plenty capable officers aboard your starship. You may use Starbase 621 to debrief your prisoners and anyone of note aboard your ship.
Very well.
I will trust you to handle this matter for me, Captain. The Herring is standing by to receive the relief team.
Understood, Admiral. Out of character, does she seem pretty straightforward? I know Vulcan's a little hard to read, but
Yeah, I mean, she's very, very surgical in what she says, how she's acting. You know, she's still kind of working while talking to you, so she's definitely multitasking. But you don't get anything off from her.
understood, Admiral. Um, I'll contact. I'll talk to the station commander, see if we can't offload the our Nausicaan prisoners. As well, with your permission, I feel the Tzenkethi refugees or fugitives should remain here on the starbase.
I agree, Captain. They will remain under our protection until the conflict is resolved.
Understood, Admiral. And as for Goldrell and his men, I'll make arrangements for a Cardassian vessel to rendezvous with us so that they can be returned.
Very good. I would imagine he is anxious to get back to his command.
I'm sure he is. Is there anything else, Admiral?
You are dismissed, Captain. Oh, Captain. One more thing. And she opens up a drawer in her desk and pulls out a slender box from within the drawer. I have been authorized to give this to you. I am not one for ceremony, but I am told you have earned this. And she slides the slender silver box across the desk toward.
She picks up the slender box and opens it up. Slight
And-
little amazement on her eyes.
And inside, you do find the Christopher Pike medal. And without even looking back up at you, she says, "You are dismissed, Captain."
Thank you, Admiral. And she walks out the room, holding the metal, clutching the box in her hand. She's gonna head back to the ship.
And the walk back to the ship is very uneventful.
Mr. Casey,
Yes, sir.
please recall all inactive officers to return back to the ship.
Hi, Captain.
Coordinate with the station, the Starbase's security team, to find a place for our Cardassian friends, or not our Nausicaan friends.
Yes, sir. If you don't mind, Captain, I'd like to oversee the prisoner transfer in person to make sure that nothing goes wrong.
Of course.
All right, Casey will head out to immediately oversee that.
Taps her comm badge. Dr. Blackwell,
Blackwell here. Go ahead, Captain.
Doctor, what is the state of the Tzenkethi?
Right as rain. They're fully healed.
Have them prepare to disembark the expedition. They'll be have better accommodation on board 621.
Understood, Captain. I'll see to it. What about our Cardassian friends?
They'll be remaining on board. We're going to deliver them back to Cardassia ourselves.
Understood. Blackwell out.
Oh, Doctor,
Yes, Captain.
what is the status of Hellen Vel?
Fully healed, Captain. Physically, she is strong and healthy. Mentally, frustrated, angry, and aggravated.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yes, Captain. Blackwell cut comms and then go find Hellen Vel. Captain Vel, good news. You'll be disembarking from the expedition here at Starbase 621.
And she'll just kind of continue looking at her team, at her troops or injured troops, making sure they're
I can assure you, your people are fine. Your native regenerating abilities served all of you very well. I've made a few thermal regenerations here and there upon request, but otherwise you're all fit as fiddles, as it were.
I need my entire group of crew members to be at 100% for the next.
Of course, and while I believe that you all are, should there be any problems, Starbase 621 has one of the most advanced medical centers in the sector. Not to mention more space and quarters more suited to someone of your rank and position.
Very good. We will be ready within the hour.
Excellent. I'll make my way back to sickbay to go see Guldrell. Ah, my dear Gull, how are you today?
Sorry.
You're fine.
I am much better, Doctor. Thank you.
Excellent. Captain Prax informs me that the expedition will be returning you and your men to Cardassia or the appropriate fleet elements in short order. You were the most badly injured of any of your men, but besides just urging you to take it easy for a couple of days more, see no reason that you can't return to duty immediately.
That is good. I am anxious to get back to my troop.
Sure you are. Well, guest quarters have been prepared for you on the ship until the meantime. So by all means, get out of my sick bay. They're sick people who need this bed. You're not sick.
The best words I have heard all day, Doctor.
And I'll see him out. Head back to my office. Can't make Leonard smaller. He's huge.
There you go.
Leonard's got a little bed over there. Because it's the future, and if you're allergic to dogs, I have a shot for that.
Prax to Dr. Blackwell.
Blackwell here. Go ahead, Captain.
Doctor, I need you to organize a relief team to beam aboard the Herring to be transported to a colony that's nearby that was decimated by these Tzenkethi forces. It appears that the Herring is in need of medical and support teams to aid the colony. Take whoever you need, Doctor.
Understood. Do we have information on exactly what the situation is there so I can prepare?
I've been told that the colony was decimated by Tzenkethi forces. The Cardassians managed to repel the Tzenkethi invasion. From what I'm told, there's a lot of damage and a lot of wounded on the surface, Doctor.
Understood. We'll start preparing. Blackwell out. GM, since we do not have any momentum on the board, is it possible for Blackwell to roll to create the advantage of medical team so that I will have, just like spending momentum for that advantage where you have a team with you?
Yeah, we could probably do presence medicine difficulty 2.
Since medicine, think any of my focuses apply here. I'm reading over a couple things. Okay. So I'll give you a threat for a third die. Let's see what we got. Oh wait, let me read the message before I roll.
Will not affect the roll.
Okay. There we go. Got a momentum now.
That you do.
Okay. Let me answer this. Okay, so let's get I want to take Casey because it sounds like the situation may be fluid on the ground, and if they're still digging people out, we might need security type folk. Mindrock for engineering. Nadon could come with because science is probably going to be good. I'll take the captain too. Nah, so I can't take the captain. So
I'll just take everybody.
yeah. Who's going to run the expedition? Doctor's commander test. So yeah, I'll take I'll take your crew, Prax.
Oh, so you're captain now, eh?
I have instructions. I'm just following instructions. I'm following orders. And we'll take.
Well, you weren't told taking you pay.
And we'll take Dr. McKenzie too. And a medical team. So yeah, I'm going to call all of those people together in a briefing room somewhere so we can get organized. Ah. Okay. So it looks like the situation on this colony. How did you pronounce it, GM?
Quinor.
Quinar. On the Quinar colony is pretty desperate. From the fragmentary reports we have, it looks like we can expect there to be little or no infrastructure left remaining. These people are going to need food, clothes, shelters, medical supplies, and treatment. So we need to go into this with full disaster kits.
Well, the engineering team was probably needed to at least help build some temporary structures
Not to mention getting the
and power.
food and clothing replicators up and running at or over capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Agreed.
Casey, there's going to be probably some search and rescue work to be done. And in these kind of situations, unfortunately, scared people do dangerous things. We can't afford having the engineering crew mobbed if people go for the food replicators before we're set up. So we'll definitely need a security presence for multiple reasons.
Of course, Doctor. I can bring Petty Officer Chakrath along as well if you believe it necessary.
Bring who you need. Let's see. Nadon, depending on what we find there, we may well need a science officer. There's no telling what sort of pollutants are in the atmosphere. So I'd like you to come along.
Certainly. I would suggest, given the concern for pollutants, that we wear appropriate personal protective equipment.
Right.
Perhaps with a secure air supply or something of the sort.
I'll see if between Admiral Para and Goldrill, if we can't get more information on exactly what we're facing. But yes, we're going to need temporary shelters. We're going to need field medical and surgical facilities. We're going to have to come up with food distribution plans. So I think we need to go in loaded for bear, as it were. Bring everything you think you'll need and all the stuff that you hope you won't.
Do you know why they're not sending the expedition to do this? What exactly is the Herring? What sort of ship?
I will type that in and see if I can find out.
Surely the expedition would be well equipped for such a large catastrophe.
The Herring is it was originally a Miranda class. She's now a dedicated medical vessel, medical and emergency response. I'm assuming that's why the Admiral is sending us aboard her rather than the expedition. Although I think the expedition is capable of handling everything that a Miranda converted to a hospital ship could, but one has to assume that she has her reasons and perhaps another mission for the expedition. The Herring is docked at 621, and as soon as we can get all of our gear over there and loaded, we're off to the races. Anyone have any questions?
None for me, Doctor.
Is everyone up to date on your immunizations? Good.
I hope so.
Mendrock, how much time will you need to get together various building supplies and the replicators?
That shouldn't be very long, since the ship is in perfect state. I can get to that immediately. I'd
Casey
say
will.
at least
ahead.
a couple hours at most.
Casey's going to do what?
He'll just follow the doctor in preparing for the mission, and I think he'll also call for Shichakrith for assistant and bring her along on the mission.
Sure. Yeah, so GM will organize getting the replicators beamed over and all the other supplies and stowed properly on the Herring. Blackwell will contact the senior medical officer in this sector, as well as Goldrell, and see if I can get a clearer picture of what we're walking into on the colony.
Yeah, so most of the major supplies are already ready to go.
Okay.
Like the replicators, the industrial replicators, the makeshift shelters are all ready to go aboard the Herring and the cargo holds, as well as most of the medical supplies you will need.
Okay. Going to grab my trusty supplies as well as the multiphasic neural support system. Yeah, let's board the Herring and get this job done.
I'll also grab my supplies. I'll make sure that the Herring is stocked with biohazard and chemical hazard PPE suits, and also that we have replicator programs for more of them because they tend to be single-use items. And if this is as bad as we think it might be, we might run out. Aside from that, I'll make sure we also have lots of sterilization supplies and make sure my chemical sensor program is fully up to date before I board.
Nadan, give me a present science difficulty 2.
Okay.
Cool. Yep, you are able to get all the supplies you just listed without any problems.
Great. It's better to err on the side of being a little paranoid when you're going into these situations.
Oh, I'm totally with you. We're taking all the drugs.
Guess Casey will calibrate his phasers and his fists.
Casey, what's your medicine?
3.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yes, we can now.
Yep.
All right, cool.
I have 3 and emergency medicine focus.
Okay. And Chakrath has 3 too. So yeah, I want everybody carrying med kits.
Sounds good.
All right, so if there's nothing else, I think we will go ahead and jump to the points we need to jump. And I believe with that, I believe the doctor actually has a log to read.
Right. Chief Medical Officer's log. Stardate 54491.6. We are en route to the Cardassian colony on Quinor aboard the USS Herring with a medical team from the expedition to assist in recovery efforts after a Tzenkethi attack. From the briefing materials, it appears that Quinor was one of the first places the Tzenkethi struck, and the colony was the site of some brutal fighting on the ground. In the end, the Tzenkethi wrapped things up with an orbital bombardment. The colony is in ruins, and they are still searching for survivors and what's left of it. With its public health infrastructure completely destroyed, Queenor Colony is desperately in need of physicians, medical supplies, food, clothing, and damn near everything else from what I can tell. We're going in with a full disaster response loadout, including emergency food, clothing, and pharmacological replicators, Instafab medical facilities, and every bit of equipment and supplies I can load us down with. Not to mention I've stripped Captain Prax of pretty much most of her department heads and every expert on board the ship. God damn it, sometimes it seems like I've spent half my career patching together people who've been chewed up and spat out by some war or another, and I'm sick of it. End log.
All right, we'll go ahead and start you guys on the ship with their captain. I didn't come up with a name for their captain because irrelevant, but Doctor, is your team ready for trans?
Ready when you are, Captain.
Very good. We will beam you and the supplies to into the city center, where you can start getting set up.
Understood.
And after a few moments, you guys beam down to the planet. And I got a little something to read for you guys. All right, when you are beamed down to the planet, you transport into a variable hellscape, where remains of this once proud Cardassian colony of 15,000 people has been reduced to nothing more than a pile of ruins. Fires still rage in several parts of the city, and a haze of smoke covers most of the city, dimming out the sun. You can hear the unnerving screams of children as their mothers try to comfort them. You could hear the yelling as rescue parties try to dig out the survivors. In the distance, you can make out a mound of the dead, unceremoniously piled up. Time has not been given to properly take care of the dead, as the search for the living is clearly taking precedence.
So,
And before you guys do anything else, what I need all players to do is roll me a fitness medicine, difficulty 2, complication 4.
I'll be spending that momentum I earned.
And I will need all characters here to roll that, even the support.
Can I do a focus in survival?
Yes.
Awesome.
There we go.
What am I rolling?
Fitness medicine, difficulty 2, complication range 4.
I'm rolling.
Oops.
Take a threat.
Um,
Oh God. Sorry, Mackenzie.
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Ed is
Ouch.
the king of the complication range.
I don't suppose.
Get out of the kitchen.
All right, I believe there's 2 more that need the roll.
Chakrith. Where's her sheet? We'll roll for her. That was with her sheet. I just forgot to switch over.
And I think I just need Nadan's roll.
I just got back. Sorry. What was the roll?
Fitness medicine, difficulty 2, complication range 4.
Whew, big complication range. Okay.
Okay, so for those that failed, give me a daring con roll, and I will make this a difficulty 2 test.
Same complication range?
No, normal.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I keep using survival as a focus?
Yes. So I believe that's Nadan, Case, or Casey, the other security officer, and McKenna. Look at Nadan getting a critical, so you guys get a momentum up.
Well, very cool. Should have just generated the thread.
Okay, just need Mackenzie and then the security officer, I believe.
Do we have any momentum?
Got 1.
Okay, I'll spend it for
Prax go AFK.
Chakrith. Possibly.
I'm here, but yeah, she failed. Horribly.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm giving 1 more roll because of for an advantage that was created earlier.
I've already rolled the control.
Oh, okay. I see it. Okay, so for those that failed this roll, as soon as the team beams onto the planet, several of you start really feeling the amount of smoke in the atmosphere start to choke on it, and it really starts to burn your lungs. For those that pass the original roll, you take no further effects, and you are able to don your personal breathing devices that Nadan was able to pack for you guys as part of her roll. For those that passed the second one, you guys are quick enough to get your mask on before you take any bad effects. But for those that failed to get their mask on, you are going to take a +1 to difficulty and +1 the complication range for all rolls until you are treated for smoke inhalation.
Doc, please.
All right, so I believe that was just Mackenzie and Casey. Then we will let you guys role play and take in this.
So my mask still isn't on? Am I just like rolling on the ground like
I
a
didn't
fish?
realize I was off mic. Mendrock, get a mask on Casey. I'll take care of Dr. McKenzie, and I'll put a mask on McKenzie, and then say,
Yep, fine. Put one on Casey.
and then I get Mackenzie's on her and say, we'll get both of you treated for smoke inhalations as soon as possible, but we've got to get set up first. Are you okay for the moment?
Fit as a fiddle, Doc.
All right, so looking around, we're at the city center. Is there room here? Is it just a bunch of rubble where we can't really set up anything?
So you're in a bit of a clearing, like it was the city center. So like, this might have been like their meeting place, their bazaar for shops and stuff. So, there's probably a good area to set up a medical facility, like a medical outpost. But all around this are just ruins of the buildings, some of them tall, some of them were housed,
Mhm.
Government buildings. So all of it's just in ruins. Very few buildings still and then all around it, there's just a bunch of, there's a few dead bodies laying in the streets. There's the downtrodden are sitting there. You can tell people are physically hungry. Some
Right.
of them nursing injuries.
All right. We set up an emergency aid and triage center here. Medical tent there, surgical tent over there. Mendrock, you and your people find a place nearby to start getting the replicators set up and get these people some food and drink.
Absolutely, Doctor. I will find the area near that is not too crowded with and begin setting up the replicators.
And after a few moments, a Cardassian male comes up to you and says, "Are you the relief team sent by Starfleet?"
We are. Dr. Sam Blackwell.
Thank God you're here. We are in a very tough spot.
It looks like Casey's a lieutenant, right?
Yes.
Okay. Lieutenant Casey and Ensign Chakrath?
Petty officer, I think.
Petty Officer Chakrath here can help start getting folks organized and heading this way. Are you our contact here?
I suppose I am. I was part of the government here.
All right.
I do have to warn you, however. There are still pockets of Tzenkethi troops around that have not been cleaned up yet. Over the past few days, they have been raiding our supplies. I think they are running out of supplies themselves, as I think they are getting more desperate in their attempts to raid.
The news just keeps getting better. Casey Chakrath, secure the perimeter. Sounds like we may have hostiles. Sir, if you can get some relatively able-bodied people to start helping the wounded, my teams and I can get to work immediately. We need Chief Engineer Mindrock and his people are setting up emergency replicators. We'll need to organize some sort of food and clothing distribution system.
I will help in any way I can. Right now, I have most of our survivors sifting through the ruins, trying to find anyone alive.
All right.
But I will spread the word to tell them to start coming here.
Start sending the wounded this way as well. Worst cases first. We'll go about getting the medical stations set up and ready to rock and roll.
Okay, so this is gonna take a lot of explaining. So you guys only have 5 actual days to get everything done. I am going to donate the 5 days as 15 intervals. Okay. So how the intervals work is every single character here has 15 intervals. So it's not a group pool. Every single one of you have 15 intervals of tasks to do, basically. In the list in the chat is how I see what you guys need to do. This includes setting up the shelters, starting to treat the sick and the injured, installing powering the replicators, dealing with the raids somehow, whatever you guys work out, and potentially dealing with the fires and the search and rescue. Those are 4 possibilities. Obviously, the more of these you complete, the better off the colony is going to be at the end of the 5 days when the ship comes back to get you. That when the Herring comes back to get you. So I think the doctor's kind of working toward delegating things out, but these are the tasks that I see that I think you already kind of explained.
Okay.
Can I try to treat myself for smoke inhalation? Would that?
You can. However, treating for the smoke inhalation will be a task that counts towards the 15.
And each task takes 2 intervals as normal.
Correct.
You say like everyone, including the supporting characters?
Yes, as long as you spend the crew support, yes, everyone that you brought will get 15 intervals.
So I think Dr. McKenzie could probably treat you for smoke, along with probably herself in a way too. So
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of who should go on each thing, but I do think that we should get. Well, yeah, especially because I'll probably be leading the raid or dealing with the raids. I should get
out there.
Yeah, I should probably get the difficulty reduced. Let's see.
What's going on with voice?
Everyone's coming in clear on my end.
Okay.
Yeah, same for me.
Okay. It was just me. So yeah, I would say Dr. McKenzie uses 4 intervals to take care of her and Casey's smoke inhalation. Blackwell will get to work on treating the injured and sick. Mendrock installing and powering the replicators.
I suggest I help with the fire strokes search and rescue.
Yeah, because So yeah, Nadon help with fire and rescue. Casey and Shechekrith dealing with the raids and or helping with search and rescue if you can. After Mackenzie's finished doctoring her and Casey, can she assist Blackwell with the task?
She wouldn't be able to treat and assist.
Okay. So
because the way I see it, all the intervals are happening basically at the same time. So if she's treating Casey while you're treating
right.
toward the injured toward the task, she's obviously not assisting you in that. If that makes sense.
How's her science, Prax?
not that great. It's a 3, so it's average.
Okay. But could she join in one of the other tasks? Like, I guess what I'm saying is, okay, so she spends 4 intervals treating her and Casey. So then on interval 5 and 6, could she jump in and start assisting with the injured and sick?
Yes.
Okay. I think that sounds like a plan. And I guess Shchekwith can assist Casey with dealing with the raids.
Then I'm gonna bend the extended task rules a little bit. Because I think it should really be this anyway. If you get an assist with an extended task, I'm going to increase the challenge dice by 1 that you get to
Okay.
roll, per assist.
Fair enough.
I mean, I think they should have done that from the get-go because, for something like this, it's kind of like a wasted character room.
Works for me. Anybody have any better way of organizing this?
Okay, can we just go over who's doing what exactly? I know Shchekwith and myself on raids. Or who's doing the treating the injured and sick? Is it you and Mackenzie?
Well, Blackwell is going to start on treating the injured and sick, and Shchekwith will be starting on dealing with the raids by herself first because, well, I guess you could go ahead and start on that too.
Will that make her the lead for the rest of the?
No, but you don't have to necessarily do it because I was thinking you would be out of it but it's really only Mackenzie who's going to be spending 4 intervals to take
Right.
care of you and her. So yeah, you and Shchekwith are dealing with the raids. Mindrock and his crew are installing and dealing with replicators. And then Nadan is doing search and rescue and helping with the fires. And if anybody finishes up super early, just everybody keep track of the amount of intervals you're in. And if you finish up your task early, then maybe you can jump in on as another assist on another task.
Sounds like a good plan.
Okay. All right, Expedition Medical Team, let's do this.
All right, where would you like to start?
I believe we're starting to get rid of the smoke difficulty increase for Casey and Mackenzie, which Mackenzie's going to do that herself.
Okay, is she going to treat herself first or Casey first?
Herself first.
Okay.
So what?
Okay, so this is going to be Insight Medicine difficulty 2 to both diagnose and to treat.
Xenobiology or biology for a focus?
Biology I think would work.
Take a threat.
Threat taken. Right. You get a momentum out of that unless you have a reroll, of course.
She has bold medicine, so.
Oh, crap! I also forgot. It is a +1 to the difficulty for her because of her thing,
Oh, she got it
and
anyway.
a +1 to complication. So yeah, she did succeed. So she has properly treated herself. Okay, who is next?
Be Casey. She's gonna treat Casey right afterwards.
Okay, so I'm gonna
Okay.
break this up into the day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. So she will not be able to go until tomorrow.
Okay. So Blackwell will start in on the injured and sick. I'd like to use the medical team advantage to reduce the resistance.
Okay, I will allow a resistance reduction of 2.
Takes care of the resistance. That is difficulty 4. Do we actually have that momentum?
Yes, you do. She got it back with the reroll.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and spend my determination on every life is worth saving or hands of the surgeon. I think either one of those would be good.
Every life is worth saving. It
Okay.
is very good in this.
Control medicine, and I will give you a 1 determination and 1 threat for the 3rd die. Well, but technically the 4th die, you know.
So it'd be 2 threat, or did you mean 1 moment?
Yeah, 1 and 1. Sorry. I'm assuming some of my medical focuses will apply here. All right, so let's see what we can do. Go. Difficulty 4, so that's 2, 4, 6, 7.
Yep. So you get 3 momentum out of it, and then you get your 7 challenge.
Ready?
So it's currently at 5.
Is this related to surgery by any chance?
Probably not.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm thinking more definitely like triage.
Right, right. Okay, so yeah, I don't think any of my talents really apply, but that is a breakthrough, so I think I will just stick with that.
All right, I got you at I got that next task, difficulty 3, work 40, magnitude 5, resistance still.
Okay,
In case you change what your medical team does.
right.
All right, where would you like to go next?
The security dealing with the raids reduces resistance on the other tasks, so we should probably do that one next.
That was my veteran. Didn't get it back.
Right. So for Casey, you get the +1 difficulty, +1 complication because you are still your lungs are still on fire.
Of course.
So for you, it would be difficulty 4, complication 2, and then using either daring, insight, reason, and security.
Diff 4, comp 2. Got it. And I'll be assisted by Chakrath.
Okay.
I assume that works for you. Can I use, like, with focus, I have survival, observation, hand-to-hand combat, hand phasers, any of them?
Observation would probably work.
Okay. With focus, comp 2. Daring is high. I'm gonna go daring security. I'll do 1 threat and 2 momentum for 4 dice. Here goes nothing.
Wow.
And
So you get that 2 back.
can Chakrath use ground tactics as a focus?
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Okay, control, security, daring, insight, reason, security. Oops.
No additional momentum, but however, you do get to roll 8 challenge dice. So right now you're doing 3.
Yeah, if is it 2 momentum for piercing?
It's 1 to reduce it by 2.
Man, I haven't done an extended task in so long.
Just
Which
spend
is
one on
4, right?
piercing. And
Yeah,
you'll be a
yeah. Well,
breakthrough.
I'll spend 1 on piercing because then I'll have 5.
Right, then that
Sounds
would
good.
be 5, and that would be a break.
Awesome.
So your next base difficulty on the security test would be difficulty 2, work 10, magnitude 3, resistance still a. All right, and then we have Nadan or Mandrak.
Oh no.
I feel like I say your name different every time I say it. I
Yeah.
apologize.
It's alright. I don't even know. I combined the 2 names, so I kind of made it up anyway. So I'm gonna follow. Use my engineering team. Reduce the resistance.
Okay, so its resistance for this task will be resistance 1.
And I'm gonna use control. And I will buy a die. And can I use computers as a focus since I'm setting up computers?
I'm not sold on that, so I'm going to say no.
Alright. Alright. Alright.
Do you have transporters and replicators?
No, I have
Another.
diagnostics, emergency repairs, warfare, mechanics, reverse engineering, and systems. So
Must have been one of the supporting characters that had that.
yeah, all right, that's fine. I have a 16, so maybe I'll get lucky and roll some. All right, so I'll spend the 1 momentum, a 3rd die, and yeah, there we go.
All right, you guys get a momentum back. Then you could roll 7 challenge dice.
So we close the machine.
So right now I got you doing 4.
Spend a momentum for piercing.
Yep.
Or extra work.
Yep. All right.
Yep. Either way,
Yeah.
so you'll get the.
So what was that here?
So you got a breakthrough. So the next engineering task will be of a difficulty 2, work 25, magnitude 3, base resistance still. And then I just believe we have the trying to deal with fires and search. So I believe that would be Nadan's role using control, daring, or insight, using your con, engineering, or science, difficulty 3. If you're saying anything, Nadan, I'm not hearing.
I wasn't saying anything.
Perfect.
Nicely rolled.
Yep. So you did succeed. So it's going to be 7 challenge dice.
Yeah, there we go.
So right now you're doing 1 work.
Okay.
So I don't know if you guys want to try to spend resources or what.
There's no way to get a breakthrough out of this with the momentum pool we have.
Okay.
I mean, you could re-roll, be the only thing.
Yeah, and hopefully get lucky and roll 6. That's only 2 work, right? Because it's Oh no, it's resist 5. That's a little
Yep.
high. That's a really high for an
The
extended
fires
cast.
are raging and you're sifting through rubble. Yeah, it was meant to be high. Lower difficulty, but higher resistance.
Wait, so the resist one on or reduce resistance by 1 on all other tasks is when the raids are completely finished?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because then they won't, people won't be looking over their shoulder. They won't have to deal with any raids, while
Right.
they're trying to do their work.
All right, I'll keep working away at that one.
I'll leave it up to you, Nadan. I mean,
I think I'll leave it as it is. I'd rather save our resources for more immediately pressing concerns right now. Like, if we can save it for dealing with the raids, for example, because that'll help with what I'm doing, what everybody else is doing.
All right. So in the first day, doctor, you're able to get most of your medical tents and facilities up, and you're starting to treat some of the more serious victims of this catastrophe, and you're starting to really triage and get people to the right places of where they need to go. Casey, you're starting to try to locate, like where exactly the raids are coming from. You are able to spot a few Tzenkethi and you're able to like shoot them away, but you're still being raided. Mendraka, same thing. You're starting to get some of the infrastructure set up for the transport for the replicators and some of the the powered buildings. Nadan, you're starting to sift through the rubble to help the Cardassians with their search and rescue efforts, as well as try to use your know-how of science to scorch some of the flames with limited resources. And I believe with that, we will head back to the starbase. And Captain Prax. All right, so Captain Prax, as you're walking along the starbase, you are stopped in the hallway by none other than Galdra. Captain, I want to thank you.
no thanks is needed.
I heard that you were able to organize the Cardassian forces to mount an effective defense against this. I am sure many of our forces will be decimated without your input.
Just doing my job, Goldrell. Last thing I would like to see is the Cardassian Union in flames again. You've already been through too much.
A fate I do not wish on anyone, not even my worst enemy.
I've been meaning to ask you. Um, we haven't had a chance to talk. You were under medical supervision for a while. I'm glad to see you're awake and moving about. Can you describe what happened when you were captured by the Tzenkethi?
We had no warning of their attack. It's almost as if they just dropped out of warp right on top of. We did not detect them coming in, and they just overwhelmed my ship's defenses.
The doctor tells me your wounds were extensive from some sort of interrogation. I hate to pry, but do you know what they were after?
I don't think they were after anything. They did not ask me a single question. I think they just wanted to make us suffer.
Do you know who was interrogating you?
Unfortunately, I was not able to recognize any of my torturers. I pray you gave them what they deserve when you rescued me.
No more than what is needed. The last thing we want is for this conflict to prolong.
Well, I've heard back from my fleets on that front. It appears the second and third orders were able, combined with your task force, were able to push them out of our space.
I have been told the same.
But I just wanted to thank you personally, Cap. I would surely have died in that prison.
No thanks is needed. It's time we mend old wounds, and not all from our. The mini war was not that long ago, and by showing compassion and willing to risk one's lives for each other, I think will extend a long way between both the Federation and the Cardassian Union.
And at that settlement, Captain, he reaches out and hands you a standard.
You cut out there.
He reaches out and hands you a standard Federation. On it, you'd recognize a comms frequency. If you are ever near Cardassian space and need help, contact me directly.
I appreciate the gesture.
If there is nothing else you need of me, Captain, I believe my transport has arrived.
She extends her hand out. Good
And
luck.
the Gaul will shake it. As do you, Captain. The Gaul will walk off. So what this means for the crew is that this starship will gain the trait Friend of Galdrell. Once per mission, if you are operating within a sector of Cardassian space, the players may call Galdrell to gain an advantage of their.
So it's once per mission while we're in Cardassian space.
Within a sector of Cardassian space. So if we go to the map and you know the line, players may call Galdrell to gain an advantage of their choice. You know, if it's reasonable. He's not going to send like the third order to help, but
Cool.
and with that, we head back to the plane. All right, so this will effectively be day 2.
Mackenzie's going to treat Casey for the smoke.
Right.
should
Oh,
advantage.
by the by, since it's day 2, what I need everyone to do right now is roll me a challenge dice. And if you could roll it for the
Oh shoot, that didn't go through. 1 sec. There we go. That was Shakrith.
okay, so if you got an effect, please roll me Daring Con. Difficulty.
What's the roll?
As you notice that your breathing apparatus, its filter needs to be changed. This will not count toward the interval.
You said difficulty 1?
Yes.
The worst stat for her to roll. I'll let you go ahead and go first.
Come on. There it is. It wasn't working.
Bank of momentum.
I'm going to take that momentum that was gained and to roll 3.
Yep.
Complication range?
For Casey, it was increased, but
Oh, that was
for
with
you, no.
Shakrith. Sorry.
Oh, that was
I
Shakrith.
just
Okay,
forgot to
cool.
change it over. Casey succeeded.
Yep, cool. Yep, you are good. So you know, at the beginning of the day, you notice that your breathing mask its filter needed to be changed, and you were able to do that without any problems or complications. So now we enter day 2. And I believe Mackenzie was treating Casey.
Yes. What's the roll?
I think it was Insight Medicine Diff 2.
She has practice makes perfect once per scene after the character has succeeded on a medicine task related to the treatment of a patient. Reduce the difficulty of the next medicine task related to that patient by 1. So I guess this.
Yeah. So it'd be difficulty 1.
I don't know if this would count because she treated herself before, and then she's treating Casey for the same thing.
I will allow it because it's the same thing she's treating for. So I mean, probably by rule, no, but I disadvantage you guys so much. I think I'll allow it in this case.
Take a threat for the reroll just in case. So it should be diff 1.
Yes. Gain 2 momentum.
And I guess that's everything she can do.
I think I should go next because I mean, on the very rare chance that I did finish the work, but I still have that slight chance that I could reduce the resistance and all the other tasks. Unless anyone else has any other ideas.
Sorry, I missed part of that. What?
I just said I think I should go next just because on the minuscule chance that I might be able to decrease resistance by 1 on all other tasks.
Sounds good to me.
All right, so this will be a difficulty 2 task.
Was it difficulty 2? Oh, right. I got my stuff removed.
Yep.
My crippling.
So effectively, your difficulty dropped 2 points for this one.
I'm going to. Okay. Sorry. I'm going to spend 1 threat and 2 momentum and roll 4 dice because I think I can get some more. I'll risk it. Here goes nothing.
Nice.
I did get our momentum back. Okay, daring security 1. And the bottom was Shakrith. So that's.
So I believe you guys get 5
7.
out of that.
5 momentum. Awesome.
And then roll me 8 challenge dice, please.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
That is
Currently, it is. Currently, I'm counting 6.
6. So I can spend 4 momentum to do 10.
2 to do 10.
2 to do 10. So I'll spend the 2 momentum then for piercing and do 10.
So that would be 2 breakthrough.
And that should complete the task, if I'm not mistaken.
You got 1 more magnitude left, but it will be a
see.
difficulty 0 test next.
Okay. Awesome.
And you basically need to do a point of work next task.
Right.
Okay. So I guess I will treat the injured and sick now.
Yours is difficulty 3, Doc.
Okay. Will my practice makes perfect fire to reduce the difficulty by 1?
Explain to me what that does, really.
It's written once per scene after the character has succeeded on a medicine task relating to the treatment of a patient, reduce the difficulty of the next medicine task relating to that patient by 1.
And it's once per scene. Yeah, I would say that would.
Okay. So I'll take that down to difficulty 2. I'll spend a momentum for a 3rd die. Okay, get a momentum back. That's 7 challenge dice. Let's see what big money. That looks like 6 work.
Yep, it would be 6.
Don't think I'm gonna. I think I'll stick with that. I would like to spend 2 of the momentum for us to create a call it search and rescue team out of some of the healthy Cardassians, and to maybe be able to reduce the resistance for Nadan. Basically creating the advantage of a search and rescue team.
Yep, I will reduce her difficulty by.
Or the resistance, or whatever Nadan wants to spend it on. But
Yeah, that's what I meant. The
okay.
the resistance.
By how much? Sorry, you cut out there.
By 2.
Okay, cool.
Figure 3 is better than 5.
Yep.
We got Mendrak or Nadan left.
Oh, go ahead. So, you said it was difficulty 2?
Yes.
And resistance 3 still?
Yes.
I will use my engineering team if possible.
You still want to use it to reduce the resistance?
Yes. I will apply a die. Minimum. And if need be, I have cautious engineering to reroll. Oh, good thing. Somebody reroll. I can reroll
I'll reroll 1 unless you spend your
one.
determination.
I guess I'll have to spend determination. I need 2. Do that. It's just,
How'd you re-roll all 3?
I spent my determination.
Okay.
You still have. They're cautious, so you can re-roll the complication. You can roll 1 dice.
Well, not having a. Sure.
At least you got rid of the complication, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Medrak, you find that you are having trouble fitting some of the power supplies to the replicators, so it's taking longer than you expect.
He would curse if he actually cursed. A little frustrated. Trying to focus on it. Sort it out.
Then we just have Nadan.
Yep. So I'm invoking testing a theory and theory into practice because I succeeded at my previous task in this extended task. So testing a theory gives me an extra die. As long as I succeeded at a previous task covering the same scientific or technological field earlier in the same adventure. Since it's part of the same extended task, I think that counts. Theory into practice reduces the difficulty of the task by 1 to a minimum of 0.
It'll be difficulty 2.
Yep. All right. So 3.
Get a momentum.
Cool. And 7 challenge dice, yes?
Correct.
Okay.
So right now, you're doing.
You have to spend both momentum to, if you negate all the resistance, and that'll get you. That's 5 there. That should get you a breakthrough.
Do we want to do that?
Probably would want to at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
let's
think it's
do
worth
that.
it.
Okay.
Next time I can go first and get that resistance out of the way too. For all the other tasks.
Sounds like a plan.
Well, and build momentum since you've got a difficulty 0.
Yeah.
Unless the Roll20 gods decide not.
Yeah.
I should bring it up given that we're about 10 to midnight where I am, but I've got a hard stop at 12:30 where I am, so about 40 minutes from now.
Okay. Hoping to be done by then. Let me run to the bathroom really All right, sorry about that. All right, so that is effectively the end of day 2. A lot of you have made a lot of progress. Casey's about to Casey basically located where the enemy encampment is, as well as we were able to capture a few of the raiders. Doctor, you're well on your way to helping a majority of the people in the colony. Nadan, you figure you probably got a third of the fires under control, and it'll probably sift through about the same number of buildings. However, the engineering team has reached a setback with getting the replicators in. And then really quickly, we'll head back to the starbase with Captain. So what are you doing on the starbase, Captain?
I'm going to talk with Hellen Vel at some point.
All right. So the way I figure, you have her to talk to and the Nausicaans to talk to, potentially. So I'll let you do that in whichever order you feel like.
Probably Helen first.
Okay. Well, then Hellen Vel is brought to a conference room, under guard, of course. And she'll walk in and just look at you intently.
Pleasure as always.
The cause of my demotion. What can I do for you, Captain?
I was going to ask you about your orders from your leader. If you wish to clarify anything.
What would you like to know, Captain?
I may only know some preliminary things, but what is the point of this invasion into Cardassia?
What did the Artok call it? Revenge, I believe, is the word.
And why would all of a sudden the Artok want to reduce you to rank of 0?
Because I think I stumbled upon a secret of the Artoks.
Do you care to share that with me? Perhaps we could work together.
After you unceremoniously thwarted me in my attempts to take that colony, I was, of course, demoted to AE. And I was subsequently removed of my command of the Northern Fleet, and instead it placed in command of a small task force. During one of my patrols of the border with Federation space, I noticed foreign ships entering Tzenkethi space, and instead of attacking them or turning them away, they were allowed free passage into Tzenkethi. I took it upon myself to follow one of these vessels, and I followed it to the palace moon itself.
What sort of ships were these?
I did not recognize them at first, but it was a little curious that outsiders were allowed in our space, and more importantly, on the palace moon itself. So I did some digging, and I noticed that many of our resources were being diverted to and I noticed even more resources being moved to seemingly secret projects.
Intriguing. Shortly before your invasion of the Cardassian Union, there was an order issued by someone within Starfleet to withdraw all Starfleet vessels, which that order was eventually overturned due to information we found that appeared that your Archarch has been dealing with someone within Starfleet. We're still conducting an investigation ourselves on that matter.
Then it is as I have feared. The Artok has become a slave to a foreign power. And my big fear is that our people will follow her.
It is unknown about your power structure within Starfleet, or at least known to a degree on some things. Would they continue to follow her if she appeared to be weak or in league of outsiders? I know your people do not like deal more xenophobic and don't wish to deal with mine or any other kind.
My people will require proof of her misdeeds.
And I slide over the pad that the letters we obtained. We retrieved these from one of your prison encampments when we rescued a handful of Cardassians. Is that proof enough for you?
This will be proof enough for my battle group. They fortunately have remained loyal to me despite my exile, so to speak. But I fear we would need more proof to convince the whole of the Tzenkethi.
I would very much like to put an end to this senseless conflict between the Tzenkethi, Cardassia, and the Federation. It is unknown whether or not your Archarch will come to the table and deal with the Federation to make some sort of peace agreement. It would
It
seem
is
that
unlikely that she will come to a peace agreement herself if she has allies in the Federation.
how many allies do you have within Tzenkethi outside of your battle group? Or at least do you think you can garner?
I think I can convince a few more smaller ship captains, but most of the fleet is still loyal to the Artart. Now, I was able to track down one of these secret projects. when our ships met outside of the Badlands. I was there to investigate one of these secret projects. However, the other one still eludes me.
Do you have any data recovered from your ship that might lead us on give us a clue to where this other one is being held at?
I have had my loyal cores looking into the resource allocation for the military. They tell me that about 25% of all military resources have been transferred to something called Unity. However, they are unable to determine a location. But I think I might just know how to find it.
I'm going to ask, and I will offer my ship at your disposal to help you find and dig up any information, or bring to light this Project Unity.
And with that, she just grins ear to ear. At least what you could assume is a. Then we have much work to do.
We do indeed.
And you also hear phaser fire outside. And with that, we will head back to the planet. All right, planetary group, it is now day 3.
All right, I guess I'm up.
So I will need everyone to again roll a challenge. All right, I need the Dr. Mendrock and the security officer to roll me a. What did I have you guys roll last time? Daring con or control con?
I think Daring Con?
Yeah, I need you 3 to roll me a daring con. Again, your filters in your mask need to be changed again.
What's the difficulty?
Just 1.
Oof.
Ouch, doctor.
Yep. Nothing I can do about it.
All right, doctor, I need you to roll me fitness medicine difficulty 1, complication range of 3. And I will actually, because of your complication with this, I'm actually going to make this a difficulty 2. So difficulty 2, complication range 3, fitness medicine.
Do I have any focuses that might apply? Emergency medicine, xenobiology, infectious diseases, surgery, negotiation.
I don't think so, because this is you trying to ward off the smoke inhalation.
Okay. So I'll take that momentum for cautious and a 3rd die. Goes nothing. Reroll that 1. This got rid of the complication.
Yep. Cool. So yeah, doctor, you're able to successfully resist the effects of the smoke inhalation. You know, like as you realize it's happening, you grab a hypo spray and hit yourself with it, preventative medicine, so to speak.
Triox.
And then you're eventually able to get your mask functioning again.
Nice.
So now we will start day 3.
Okay.
I think Casey was going first.
Yep.
So it's difficulty 0.
And you said I just need to score 1 work to finish this?
Basically, yes.
Awesome.
Right, so you guys get 3 momentum out of that. And then just roll me.
That was Chakrith.
Yep. And then the 8 challenge deck.
What the hell?
Wow.
I'm gonna reroll that. What is it?
Reroll 6, I think.
Yeah. That was unbelievably horrible. Well, that at least is.
Okay, so right now I still have you at 0 work.
It's two momentum. We'll make it.
Well, you just got to spend 1 of them. And
Okay,
then
right. It's 1 momentum. Yeah,
you'll beat the check.
I will
What was
spend
the
that.
resistance?
4.
Wait, but if the resistance was 4, he has 6 work total.
Wait a minute. Oh, I forgot to count that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you
So
mean.
you do not have to. So you do not have to spend anything,
Right.
and you are able to capture a very weak and tired Tzenkethi raiding group. So with that, I believe all of your resistances go down by. Is that what I said it did?
Yep.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got. Awesome.
All right, and who would like to go next?
I can help some wounded. I've got it at difficulty 2, work 24, magnitude 4, and resistance still at 2. But it would be 1 now, but I'm still using the medical team for resistance, I believe.
Yep. So I got you 2. I wasn't sure about the work because for some reason I had you at 40.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
probably wrong.
40, and then I did 6 work. So, or sorry, not 24, 34.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, my bad.
And
Mackenzie
Mackenzie.
assist. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And then magnitude 4, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. However, I am going to spend some threat here.
Okay.
I have boatloads of it. All right, I'm going to spend 4 threat here. And the Cardassians inform the colony that further building collapses has injured several of the search and rescue parts. So I'm going to increase the complication range of this task by 2, and I'm going to add 10 to the work.
To this task or the search and rescue task?
This task, as the injured come pouring in.
Okay. So you're increasing the complication range to 2?
By 2 to 3.
Okay, and
But then I'm increasing the work by 10. So work is up to 44.
All right, so I will take a momentum for a Thoid die. Or if I should, well, with the complication range 3, I don't know if I should buy a bunch of dice. What do you guys think?
I mean, it is difficulty 2, and you do get the
I do
assist.
assist, that's right, yeah.
So you could probably roll one for cautious. At least turn that on.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah, I spent one for cautious. Yep. All right, let's see what. Reroll that 0. Aha.
Yep. And then we just need the assist.
Emergency medicine or
Yep. Sure does. All right, you guys get 3 momentum up. Please roll me 8 challenge dice, Doctor.
Do. Oh, rolling like Casey. Yeah, I'll spend 1 to reroll 5.
I got you at 9.
And let's do one more to make it 10 for 2 breakthroughs.
It will not work like that.
Oh, okay.
It's 5 or more.
Oh, fair enough. Are we doing any kind of emergency surgery where surgery savant might kick in?
What does that do?
Gives you the triumphant effect on any medicine task during an extended task relating to surgery.
You know what? Because I spent the threat, I will give you that for this roll.
Okay, so that's, we'll leave it at 9 work, but that makes it 2 breakthroughs.
And so, Doctor, I have your task at a difficulty 0, work of 35, magnitude of 2, resistance now a base of 1.
I'm pretty sure it's a difficulty 1 because it was difficulty 2 this go round.
Yeah, but 2 breakthroughs reduce it by.
Oh, you're right. All right.
All right, so then
Yeah,
we got
Blackwell and McKinsey and the team, they've been working like they're back and interns again, you know, working 20 hours out of 24, snatching some sleep, going right back to it, you know, switching out of surgical garments left, right, and center. Just as things continue to pour in.
All right, and then we got the engineering or the search and rescue.
I'll go ahead then if Casey doesn't want to, or he doesn't want to go.
What, sorry?
All right. What's the difficulty? Is it 2?
Yeah, it's difficulty 2.
All right. And the resist is still 3?
Your resistance is currently 2,
All right.
because of the reduction.
All right. See about having my team reduce it to 0. Well,
And
and then I'll buy 2 dice. Do I have enough there? Or do
if you got 3, then yes.
it'll be all of the momentum.
yeah. Well, I suspect I'll generate. Fail horribly. That's control. Well, I'll reroll and come. Cautious engineering. Can I actually reroll the? So I spent.
You already spent your determination.
Oh yeah, yeah. And just reroll the 1.
Yep.
All right.
All right, I believe that's 2 momentum gained, and then you could roll me 7 challenge. So I got you at 6 work,
Okay,
which will be a breakthrough.
cool.
He has Nick in the time too.
What does that do?
I'm double checking. I think that pertains to extended tasks.
Pretty sure it does. I'm just not sure what it does.
It's one additional work for every effect rolled.
Oh, cool. So he gets 3 more, so he's at 9.
Yeah.
So that would put him at 16. And I'll add 2 more because I don't know what he rolled originally, so I'll put him at 14.
Yeah, I totally forgot. I have that. I need to make some notes on all those. So I can reference.
So for the engineering, I
Oh.
got difficulty 1, work 14, magnitude 2, resistance base of.
Actually, the first roll, I just scrolled up. He would have gotten 9 total.
We got 9, so
I don't know.
so
The
he's at
resistance
10
at
work.
1, it would have been 8, I guess. From that
I'll
first
I'll
roll.
throw him at 10 and call it a day.
Okay. And what was the dated?
What's that?
I'm trying to keep track of where I'm at. What
Okay,
was
so
it? Dated?
your next roll will be difficulty 1, work
Okay.
10, magnitude 2, resistance.
Resistance 2. Okay.
Yep. And then and so your engineering team surged on this day to really get a lot of the infrastructure set up for the replicators
Yeah,
and the
we
power.
made up for the previous day for sure. All right.
Right, then we just need the Don. Your task is difficulty 2.
Presently, or are you accounting for into practice?
I am not accounting for that, so I guess it would be a difficult.
Okay. And invoking testing a theory again to give myself an extra die.
Yep.
Here we go.
So you get 2 momentum out of that,
Okay.
and I believe I have you at 14 work.
That sounds right.
And then
I'll roll this.
the resistance I have you at is 2 currently.
That also sounds correct. Why did it not roll 7?
You have to hit enter, click.
Oh, okay, that explains it. I'll spend the 2 momentum I just earned to get rid of the resistance.
You just got to spend 1.
Oh, I'll spend 1 momentum then.
So right now you're at 5 work.
Yeah. So that should bring me to 11 remaining, right?
9 work remaining.
Oh, okay. Even better.
So I have you at difficulty 1, work 9, magnitude 2, resistance of 2.
Yep. That sounds right.
All right, so all teams put in a great deal of work throughout this day. The doctor and the engineering squad have been working overtime to get caught up in the engineering case, and the doctors with the influx of new patients. Casey completely stopped all the resistance today, and Nadon, you estimate that probably half of the city, probably more than half of the city, the fires have been put out, and much of the ruins have been discovered or has been searched through. And with that, we'll head back to the space station where Captain, just outside your door, you heard phaser fire of the conference room.
She motions for Val to come near her and taps her comm badge. Security report. There's phaser fire outside of conference room 12B.
In a hysterical voice, you get the security just outside the door. We are being attacked. A Ferengi and others. Send help. And then the transmission.
Ferengi.
And you see Hellen Vel start to get bigger. And
Prax
then a few minutes.
Expedition, emergency beam out. Two to beam out.
Ooh. Well played, Cap.
Yes.
So I have all this threat. I'm gonna make this very difficult. So you're gonna have to spend the crew support
That's
to
fine.
activate night, I would assume.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the difficulty 3. I'm gonna make the complication though, as just as you finish that sentence, a Ferengi and 4 other armed personnel enter the room with their disruptor pistols pointed at you and at Hellen Vel.
All right. It's a difficulty of 3. Sorry, yeah, difficulty 3. So complication range 3.
Yep. And so I'm assuming with sensors you're going to be at difficulty.
Yes. Take a threat. She has technical expertise in build engineering, so she should be good. She doesn't need to spend a determination.
Night, the bane of my existence.
6 successes. So
yeah, so get 4 momentum. I think I'm gonna spend more threat here because I want something to happen.
Yeah, it's fine.
So I'm gonna spend 4. So you are transported out of the room and onto the transporter pad of the Let me go ahead and get this set up here. The big one will be Hellen Vel. So you notice right in front of you, Captain, the Ferengi that entered the room with his weapon drawn is now standing on the transporter pad without a weapon.
Wah, wah.
I mean, that's Knight's expertise, realizing what's going on. And she got so many damn successes.
So, I'm in close range, right?
It won't take you much to get.
It's on the transporter pad. I'm assuming he's like right there.
Yeah. Like the way I figured, you're probably in the back. He's probably in the front.
I'm just gonna go for it and subdue him, like instant reflexes.
Okay. So you're gonna try to punch him in the face.
Yeah. I'm going to spend my determination by reason or by force for 2 automatic.
Sounds good.
She has hand-to-hand combat for her focus,
Sure do.
and I'm rolling 2 flat. Actually, I don't want to throw a momentum at it. It's not night. Forgot to. That's 3. God, a 19 and a 16.
How'd you get 3? Determination.
The
I take it?
determination plus the 1 success.
Gotcha. Cool. Oh, yeah. So yeah, Captain. You can go ahead and roll your punchy damage.
That does not. Is that right?
It will not matter because he has a complication.
Well, actually, it's rolling 1 less. So
There you go. So, Captain, you come up and you give him like a one giant thrust, like right in his face, and the Frankie falls down to the ground, arms spread out, and he just kind of falls backward, and his head hits the ground behind. There's a little blood, but you know your experience, he's going to be just fine. Out of one of his pockets, you notice a data pad fall to the ground.
she's gonna pick up the data pad and motion the knight. Get security down here right away. And begin transporting security teams over to Starbase, the Starbase to assist.
Hi, Captain. And a few moments later, security drags the Ferengi out. Hellen Vel returns to a normal size for a Tzenkethi, still towers over you, but is not, basically the Hulk. And I sent you the information on the pad.
Helen, I think we need to get you to someplace secure. And she just kind of shows the pad to her.
Let them come, she says with a hearty laugh.
For now, it's best you stay on my ship. Probably safer. Bridge.
I will have
We'll,
my cores come over that.
In due time. For now, let's wait until we're secure.
And she will nod and follow you out of the transporter room, and then we will head back to the. So I believe everyone is in a good position at the very start, probably the wee morning hours of day 4, to potentially finish all of their things. So I'm going to need everyone on the planet to please roll me the challenge dice.
Second one was Chakrath.
All right, so I'm going to need her to roll me a daring con difficulty 1.
I'll spend a momentum.
And then am I missing anybody?
Me, I think. If it's a failure that you're looking at unless it's an event.
Very cool.
I think the doctor rolled. Casey rolled twice.
That second one, Chakrath there. She failed. Pretty hardcore, actually. 18, 19, 19.
Oh,
What are
wow.
the odds?
So there should be 6 rolls. Oh, Mendrock. That's who I'm missing. Would also help if it was on the planet page.
Wasn't Shockworth just supposed to roll a
Nindrox
challenge die?
in the restroom. I'm gonna have to head off. I got a flight I gotta catch in 5.5 hours, so I need to catch some sleep.
Alrighty. I tried to finish. I think we got like 15 minutes left, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No worries. Enjoy your flight.
See you.
See ya.
Travel safe.
Thanks.
And then we could just roll for
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
I'll have Mendrak roll when he comes back. Oh, and she failed. So I need her to roll a fitness medicine difficulty 1, complication range 2.
I'll spend another momentum. Fitness medicine. Let's give her a shot.
Ouch.
Spend a third momentum to kill the comp. Or is it 2 momentum to kill a comp?
2 momentum.
So yeah, I'll do that then.
All right, so I think you guys are at 2 momentum then.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so again, her mask filter failed, so she had to replace. But she was able to get that done without any problems. And she was able to stave off the she basically held her breath as she was replacing the
Yeah, for some reason I can't take her momentum down past 4.
Oh, that's weird.
What? How much momentum you want to take from me?
We took 4 in that. Yeah. It's kind of a
All right, cool.
bad
The
moment.
wee morning hours of day.
So I figure we should start with the search and rescue, because that'll also prevent us, if we can finish it, we won't have to do that check at the start of next day.
Okay.
I don't know who wants to roll for Nidan, but KC will go to assist in the search and rescue.
Can both Casey and Shechekrith assist with that, GM?
Sure can.
You okay?
I got an
Or
advance.
I could send Chekrith to work on the replicators.
What's her engineering?
Like 1, but with daring engineering, it's like 13, or what is it? Daring engineering is 11, but I have good daring con, like 14, so that's why I suggested if one of us is going to be doing the search and rescue, I should probably go
fair
on that
enough.
one. So yeah, I'll just assist with that.
You want her to go next, Nadine?
I think that's the best
So
solution.
does your theory and practice, or testing theory and theory into practice still apply? Correct.
Sure does.
What's the complication range?
Normal. So I got the science task at difficulty 1, work 9, magnitude 2, resistance.
So this is difficulty 1, you said?
Yes, and I believe it doesn't reduce it past 1.
I think it goes to 0.
Does it?
Yeah, it's the only one that does theory into practice.
Yeah, for some reason, I thought she said it only took it to a minimum of 1.
Yeah, it goes. So Yeah, reduce theory into practice, page 39 on the science book. I'll write on our sheet. So when you're attempting a task using engineering or science, when you gain additional d20 from testing a theory talent, reduce the difficulty of the task by 1 to a minimum of 0.
Oh, cool. So difficulty 0.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about we're at 2. Let's generate some momentum because she hasn't spent her determination. Setbacks are lessons, not failures. Or the
No,
mission
I can't say
directive.
that. I could do a mission directive, yes.
Well, it's 2.
Yep.
And I guess whoever wishes to assist with this.
Right. Can I use observation as a focus since I'm looking for people?
Sure can. So I believe that's 3 successes. Then it was just you two assisting, right?
Yeah. And Chuck was going to assist with engineering.
Although honestly, she's rolling a 14 in medicine. Control medicine.
Yeah, if you
So I may
would
roll her
rather.
over to help knock out the wounded.
Sure.
All right, so it will be 8 challenge dice, please.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I do 1 Falcon Punch. This is what happens.
Biggest F.
Spending 1 to reroll 7.
Yep.
There we go.
So right now I get you at 4.
What's
If you
because
could
what?
somehow get another 5.
What's it's resistance 3 right now? Is that right?
Resistance 2.
Resistance 2. Okay.
So yeah, right now I get you at 4.
Okay. So 1 for piercing.
All right, so that would put you at 6.
How much is left on the work track?
3.
Technically, we have still a bunch more intervals. Let's just let it stand there.
All right, so you did 6 work.
Yeah.
So I got the next task will be difficulty 0, work 3, magnitude 1, resistance. All right, which would we like to do next?
Stealing that momentum back, Casey, so I can get rid of it.
Shall we do the medical stuff?
Works for me.
I have us at difficulty 1, work 35, magnitude 2, resistance 1.
It should be
Nice.
difficulty 0. Because the task before you were at 2, and then you had 2 breakthroughs.
Fair enough.
That would put it at difficulty 0.
Cool. Let's see if we can't do momentum here. I'll give you a momentum for a 3rd die. And yes, to check with, you can come over here and assist. I'll get us up to 9 challenge die. Let's earn some momentum here. I can get a complication. Ha ha ha! Jinxed myself.
And should Chuck with also allowed to assist?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Control medicine is good for her.
Okay, control medicine.
All right, so you guys got 3 momentum out of that.
Uh,
Assuming
I'll
2 to crush the comp.
Yeah, 2 to crush.
All right, so you guys bank 1. So how many? So 9 challenge dice.
Yep. I'm counting 9 work.
Yep, and then -1. Oh, but you got the medical team, right?
Right.
So you'd be at 9.
I don't think I have any way to spring that up to a second breakthrough. Surgery Savant is my trick with that.
How much work is left after the 9?
26.
Ooh, no.
So yeah, I think we just stand pat. It'll be difficulty 0, 1 magnitude next go round. Still have 7 intervals left.
Yeah, I think you guys are officially on the good side of this.
I mean, once we finish mine, try and help. Well, not sure how, but
All right, so Mendrock, we got you at a difficulty 1, work 10, magnitude 2, resistance. It is certainly possible to get it in this roll.
yeah. Can I have my team reduce that resistance?
Sure can.
And we got 3 momentum still.
Yep.
Oh. Not. I mean, it's difficulty 1, so I'll just buy 1 die. 3.
Okay.
And, sure. Right. Stuff here.
All right, you guys will get the momentum back, and then you can roll 7 challenge dice. Right now, I have you at 5.
If I can spend the momentum boosting, right? Or
You're at resist 0, I think.
Yeah, he is at resistance 0, so that's why it's 5.
okay.
You might want to, like, if you're going to spend a reroll dice, you might want to try rerolling the 0.
Well, you have cautious, so you can reroll the 0 to get an extra momentum.
Okay.
You can reroll like one like task, and then you can spend a momentum to like you can because you use momentum. You can reroll that 0 on your control
Okay.
engineer.
I'll do that.
Try to get an extra momentum.
There you go.
And you can spend that to reroll 3.
Yep. So
Alright.
roll 3 challenge dice.
3 challenge. All right.
So right now I got you at 9 work.
How much does
He needs 1 more point to do 2 breakthroughs.
Okay, yeah, just spend a momentum.
Yep.
To get extra work.
All right. The momentum to do the extra.
All right. So the replicators have officially been turned on and tested, and they work. I will allow you guys at this point, because I did not have anything if you completed this one. I will give you guys a free advantage right.
Free advantage. What?
So since you got the replicators working, I'll allow you guys to get the effects of an advantage.
Okay. So replicators are done.
The raids have
are
been dealt with.
So it's just medicine and search and rescue, right?
Yep.
Where are you at with search and rescue?
Difficulty 1, which I think it's a difficulty 0 with all her stuff. Work is 9. Magnitude is 2. Resistance.
She got a breakthrough. I thought.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I wrote in the wrong spot. So it's difficulty 0, work 3, magnitude 1, resistance 2.
Yeah, she's almost done with it. So
Next round, I think I'll leave, or just Nadan do search and rescue, and then I'll go help with the injured, I guess. If that makes sense.
I mean, honestly, we could spend it to reduce her resistance down to 0. I mean, I'm not worried about making this last magnitude on the medical check. What do you guys think?
Reduce the resistance on Nadan's roll.
Yeah, that would bring it down to just 0. And so
what's
only,
what's the resistance on your roll?
0.
Okay, yeah, then might as well, I
mean,
guess.
she's got. I mean, she only has 3 work. I mean, either way, I think we're going to knock it out this next.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just not sure what else we have to spend an advantage on.
I guess the advantage is to start creating fire suppression units to reduce the resistance by 2. That's the only thing I really can think of. Because the rest of it's kind of meaningless, really.
Right. I mean, the only other thing I could think of is more role players than anything else would be to create we stabilize things enough where they can start to take care of the dead bodies and thereby prevent a disease flare up. But like I said, that's more role play than mechanical.
Yep. I mean, the resistance reduction is good. Works for me.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and move on to the evening of day 4.
Okay.
So that would be intervals 9 and 10. And what would you guys like to do?
Let's see if we can't knock out the rescue first.
Okay.
Makes more sense to do that and then do the wounded.
So testing theory and theory into practice, I'm assuming still applies.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's a diff 0. You just get the extra dice. So you guys get 3 momentum and then 7 challenge dice.
So many names.
So that'll do.
It's 5, so it's, I guess, 2 breakthroughs.
Yep. You guys just needed 1. So Nadan and the Cardassians that are helping with the search and rescue have just put out all the fires in the city and have accounted for every single resident of the colony, whether they are alive or dead. They are accounted for.
While the number found alive is never as high as you would like, Blackwell and Casey and Shechekrith and McKenzie can see the light at the end of the tunnel and begin to treat the final patients. So I'll give you a momentum for 3rd die just to activate cautious. I think I'll just let it stand.
All right, guys get 3 momentum. Then roll me, or got all the assists as well.
Yeah.
Can you spend determination on an assist?
Cannot.
Okay. During medicine. Wait. Control medicine. And chakra. Where'd that character sheet go?
All right, that's a whole boatload of momentum you guys just gained. I believe that is 6
4 float.
total. So roll me
10.
challenge.
Let's reroll 6. Spend
So you will not need it.
Yeah.
That is 6, so that will be a breakthrough.
That completes the magnitudes.
Sure does.
Coming to work.
Um,
Hooray!
so yeah, so doctor, you finally treated the rest of the sick and the injured. There's a few more that require like minor surgeries and stuff that you're finally able to take care of. No one's in danger of dying or dying of illness or exposure or anything like that. So you're just really just mopping up the rest of them basically. And at this point, you guys have done all of your task, and now you're just assisting with quality of life stuff like um, preparing the dead for burial or however they take care of their dead. Um, quality of life things, setting up more tents, salvaging some of the rubble to make shelters and stuff and things like that. Teaching a few of the people how to, practice medicine and things like,
Right.
because you guys got basically a whole day of which to do. So if there's nothing else on the planet, what we'll go ahead and do is we'll go ahead and throw everybody back on the ship. Probably at the end of at the end of day 5 or whatever, 5.5.
The Herring or the
The
expedition?
the expedition. Like perhaps we'll say the Herring arrived ahead of schedule.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and throw everybody back in here, and you guys can have a little bit of a episode debrief before we end the session.
Well, I hope your events were eventful.
Blackwell is clutching a cup of black coffee with deep purple circles under his eyes because he hasn't been really sleeping much at all over the past 4 days, 5 days. Eventful is one word for it, Captain. We excuse me. We managed to treat all of the wounded, find all of the survivors that were there to find, suppress the fires, and get the colony at least started back on the road to a better recovery. Casey and Nadan and Mendrock did stellar work under terrible conditions. They're all to be commended. We couldn't have done it without all of us working together.
Well, I look forward to reading your report, Doctor.
I'll have it for you tomorrow, Captain.
Take your time, Doctor. I know you're exhausted. She stands up, holding a little box in her hand. Lieutenant Casey, stand at attention.
Ma'am. And he'll just kind of click his heels together.
It is with great honor and privilege that I hereby promote you, Lieutenant Casey, to Lieutenant Commander.
Thank you, sir. And
She pulls out the box, takes the pen, and applies it to your collar. Congratulations, Commander. She extends her hand.
Casey will firmly shake it.
Here, here, says Blackwell. Well deserved, Casey.
Thank you, Doctor, and thank you, Captain. It's been a privilege to serve on this crew and do the good work that we do.
Of course it is. In the meantime, there is a Ferengi in the brig, as well as I need you to double the security on Hellen Vel's quarters. She'll be remaining on the ship for the time being.
I'll head to arrange that now, Captain, unless you have any other matters I should attend to.
No, and I believe he got medical attention, Doctor, but you might want to check up on him. His nose was a little broken, I think.
I'll make sure he's not too beat up.
All right. And the doctor will get up, swigging his coffee, and head with Casey down towards the brig to check on this broken-nosed Ferengi.
Chief, how was your time on the mission?
Challenging, sir.
Well, it's good to have you back.
Very challenging. Took a little longer than I expected to get the replicators working. We had some trouble with some of the power conduits and such, but we got it working. My team did an excellent job.
Well, did excellent work down there, Chief.
Thank you.
Get some rest. We have a long journey ahead of us. You're dismissed.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think with that, we will call this the end of Conflagration. However the heck you say.
Very good.